moment that you've all been waiting for. From just north of the border, he's the hombre with no nombre. Mi hermano from another mamo. His favorite jelly bean flavor is black licorice. El Numero Uno.
That's right. You're listening to one of the three Hogsmen. Dev ain't here. Big Duke can't make it this week. Said maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
And today, it's Tuesday. It's March 23rd. Listen, I'm going to start this podcast off with a controversial statement. All right? You ready to get into this?
I'm ready, I think.
All right. I think the Zack Snyder Justice League could be the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen.
Oh, there's no doubt.
100, dude.
It's fantastic.
It was so fucking good.
Exceeded all my expectations. I thought the 4-hour thing, I was like, oh man. And then I watched it, I'm like, man, I didn't even feel like that was 4 hours.
No, so here, it took me 2 sittings, right?
Yeah.
Because let's see, I think I watched the first, like, you know, the first sitting was, I think, Friday night.
Yeah.
I was just tired, so I watched a good portion of it. I just fell asleep. You know, it's fucking 4
Luckily,
hours.
they split it up into parts. So if you could do it like that, you could be like, all right, well, when they start a new part, I will cut out now.
You can track it a little bit.
Yeah.
But so then but I loved it. But I was tired and I fell asleep. Then I asked my wife if I could watch it again, because she actually stayed up and watched it, which is kind of strange that my wife decided to do that, considering I was asleep. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, sure. So I started it back where I, last remembered, watching it. And at one point I looked over at my wife and I go, this is so fucking good. This is such a good movie. It's anybody out there that hasn't seen it, it's a completely different movie.
Yeah.
100%.
There's still substances or parts of it that were the same from the original, but the tone of the movie is completely different.
It's so different.
Yeah.
I mean, you actually care about the characters.
Yeah, Cyborg is such a better character than he was in the Joss Whedon version.
100%. They actually show just how powerful Cyborg is. Like the Josh Whedon. Josh
Whedon, yeah.
That part, you didn't understand his backstory of Cyborg. You didn't there was just no you didn't understand his motive.
No substance.
There's no substance to it. And this, you realize who he was prior to being Cyborg, what happened to him, and now what his powers really are.
He's literally the heart of the movie.
Yes,
like
100%.
So, and you look at it and you're like, I don't know how anyone could see the original version and take more out of the person that was kind of crucial to the whole movie. There's more Flash stuff too.
That's another one too, man. The Flash, they put a lot more substance to his character. You realize, like, okay, what's driving him? What kind of personality is he? That opening sequence with the car crash. Yeah. And by the way, spoiler alert, if anybody wants not to hear this,
we live in a world where you got to know people are going to talk about this stuff.
Here's your warning. Yes. When when he touches the glass, and it bends, it warps, and then it breaks. Plus the music behind it was, oh man,
that was another thing that was the thing I think it was most different from the Joss Whedon version. Like there were scenes like when the beginning of the movie where Aquaman goes back in the water after talking to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I think in the Joss Whedon version there was like a White Stripes song before he jumped back in the water. And this one there was more of like a tone setting music, which made it much better.
Yeah, but it was just the one thing when the Flash, finally kicked it into gear to go save that chick.
Yeah.
And his shoes go ripping apart. I didn't like that part too much, because it was like, what if the Flash has nice shoes on and he has to go save somebody and he's like, wait a minute, I gotta take these shoes off real quick. Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't like that. But it was fantastic. That's the thing. It's the Justice League. DC is DC a little bit older than Marvel? I'm not
100% sure,
but I feel like they have the more classic characters.
They have, I think, the characters that people more, maybe not anymore, but they more are synonymous with, like Batman, Superman. But Marvel's kind of become more now because of the movies and how the movies have been successful.
Yeah,
it's a lot more mainstream now. So,
but I feel like when I was a kid, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, all those were big names. And I feel like that's the more, I wish I should have brought Chris Terry on.
Yeah.
I felt like that's the more classic characters.
Yeah.
And, when they said they're putting together a Justice League movie, that should feel like a huge event.
Yeah.
That should feel like a big movie. And the one that they gave us originally, the Josh Whedon one, it didn't live up to that.
No, and they tried to make it too jokey and too funny. And there's one scene they cut out that I'm really glad. It was the scene in the original version where Aquaman is accidentally sitting on her Wonder Woman's
lasso
of truth, and he sells all this stuff, and I'm like, that just doesn't fit in what this movie. And like Steppenwolf looks a lot better in this version.
Holy shit!
Darkseid is like an actual part of the movie. Like he wasn't. I had heard that he was going to be the main villain in the movie Darkseid, but it was more or less like Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy, where he was there, but he wasn't really
in the
part
background.
Of it. He's in the background, setting up for another movie that's never going to come.
Yeah. I was going to say something. Why I have such a short-term memory.
One thing I was going to say is it actually kind of benefited them a little bit that they got to split apart the filming of some of this stuff, because they filmed some of this stuff recently. And like, if you watch the original version, like since then, Ben Affleck has gone to rehab, and you can see at the end of the movie, he looks completely different. And that kind of helps with the tone, because from Batman to Superman to the end of this movie, he's very like on edge, and like he's always angry. And at the very end, I think he feels relief. And I think that works better because in real life, the person Ben Affleck is in a much better position, because you can look at the movie itself and then look at the end, and he just looks a lot different.
Yeah.
You can tell they filmed it at different times. So,
that's what this movie felt like a big deal.
Yeah.
It felt huge while you're watching it. Like, this is something special. Steppenwolf looked amazing. They completely like almost redid his ass. Like they fixed up the face, the armor, the gear he had on. What? It kind of reacted to his like emotional state. Dude, when he had all them arrows shot into him, and then he just like flexed and they all broke, I was like, that's gangster.
His character made a lot more sense too.
It made everything made sense.
In the original movie, it was like, why is this guy just obsessed with these boxes?
Yeah.
But then in this one, they're like, well, because he's trying to get back in the good graces of the guy who he disgraced himself to.
Yeah.
So
it was just all around. It cleaned up everything as far as motive, storyline, reasoning. It was fantastic, man. The battle scenes. The first one with all the United, the Amazonians, the gods, the humans, the Atlanteans, and the Green Lantern against Darkseid's forces.
Yeah,
fantastic. When Darkseid just chopped off that Green Lantern's arm, like it was nothing, you were like, holy shit, Darkseid's a badass.
Yeah,
Oh, it was so good. I have to watch it again. I started watching it again, but it's not something you can just sit down and watch.
Yeah, it's like you got to make a whole day.
Exactly, because there's so much to absorb out of that movie. I don't think you can do it in one screening. You have to watch it maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
because there's so much, and it's so good, man. And I don't know if are they trying to make a sequel to this one?
No, the problem is it's people are trying to start like an internet thing to restore the Snyderverse, which was what he was going for with that movie. But he's pretty much said he's done making superhero movies, and so that was my only problem with the movie. Is it had a lot of like things that are going to happen next that are just never going to happen.
What a cock tease, man!
I know, like because they're trying to replace Henry Cavill as Superman, and I just think that's so dumb. He's the absolute perfect Superman.
That's also another thing. I'm not a big Superman fan. I've stated that before. I liked this Superman.
Yeah.
He was ruthless. Came in, just started fucking up Steppenwolf, like punching him, fucking laser eyeing him, punching him some more, a little bit more laser eye. Oh man. It was just so good, dude. I'm telling you, anybody out there, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's amazing. After I watched it, I was like, this is the best superhero movie I've ever seen. And if Justice League came out swinging with this movie back in 2017, Marvel would have been like, oh fuck, they caught up.
And that's the worst part is people are going to react that same way that you and I are. And yet Warner Brothers is like, nah.
Stupid.
And I'm like, you guys like are sitting on a gold mine. Like you can just keep this going. Like they're already going to make a Flash movie. You can still do the same thing you were planning to do with the Flash movie, but you can
take my money. If there's a sequel, take my money. I will write you a blank check. Go ahead and fill it. We don't do checks anymore, really.
No.
I'll give you my ATM card and give you my PIN code. That I gotta see.
Well, if they have Cyborg, they don't need your PIN card.
Exactly. It's just amazing, man. I suggest everybody go watch it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll be watching it again and again, at least. Loved it.
And I really, really hope that somehow, some way that someone convinces them to continue this, because I think this is what they were looking for to compete with Marvel. And if they continue, like they had a Batman movie that they were making with Ben Affleck, and then now that's Robert Pattinson. It's a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Not even involved in this world. Like
that's the thing, man. DC and who owns DC?
Warner Bros.
Warner Bros.
Yeah.
Listen, it took Marvel more than a decade to get everything going and end up with Infinity War and Endgame, right? Yeah. This movie closed the gap in 4 hours.
Yeah.
It took them 4 hours to catch up to where Marvel got to in Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know? God, it was good, man. So fucking good.
I agree.
I would keep talking about it, but I'm sure everybody's just like, all right, cool, let's move on. You liked it a lot.
Yeah, let's talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I haven't watched that.
Oh.
I haven't watched it. I just got done with WandaVision. I watched the finale a little bit later than everybody else. I was just busy and I had to, finally I was like, I told my wife like, hey, can we just watch this? It's the finale. I liked the WandaVision thing. It was good. It actually brought a lot more character and backstory and everything to Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Wanda
Maximoff.
Maximoff.
Yeah.
And fun fact, she's one of the Olsen twins sisters, or she's a sister of the Olsen twins.
Yep.
And but I think that show really did a great job of getting her character over and making it a bigger deal, because she kind of was always like a background actor for the rest of the movie, the other movies.
Well, it seems like she's going to be a big part of the next phase of movies.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be in the next Doctor Strange movie. I think she's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know it seems like they got big plans for her.
Yeah.
So you watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier. What'd you think?
I loved it.
Really?
It was great. There was a lot of things in it that are answered. It's so dumb because it's not important to a lot of people, but there's a lot of like small things that in like life that they think about and they address, and like they address like someone applying for a loan, but they've been vanished for 5 years. So the bank uses you haven't had income for 5 years. Like they use that little stuff. I'm like, this is the type of shit that would happen in this world if,
Yeah.
But it was the first episode. Like there's only going to be 6 of them. So it's going to be more compact. So it's like 50-minute episodes.
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend it. I liked it a lot. Not a lot more than WandaVision. It's just a show with characters I like a lot more.
Yeah.
And things I want to see more.
See, that's the crazy thing. Like after watching this Justice League, I don't know if like if I can like watch anything else right now. I have to like absorb all of that and then move on.
Yeah, I watched so I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier first. Before we move on though from Justice League, we have to talk about that desert scene at the end.
The Doomsday looking like where
they completely just saved Jared Leto's the Joker too.
You know what? You're right. I was not a fan of Suicide Squad.
No, it was terrible.
Wasn't a fan of Jared Leto's Joker in that movie. This movie, I like it.
Yeah.
They finally wrapped up that Robin thing from was that Batman versus Superman?
Yeah.
They finally said, you got the impression that Joker killed Robin.
Yeah.
And but they didn't, really.
Because I think they had a plan to go into it at some point, but they never got to get there.
But I loved it when the Joker hit him with the, why would you send a boy wonder to do a man's job? I was like, oh, that's a good line. That's a great fucking line.
I don't know where any of that was leading, because they had that in Batman versus Superman too, like that desert nightmare thing.
Yeah.
And they teased it again when I think when they tried to do the box to bring back Superman, they showed you that whole Superman, the black cape, and Darkseid put his hand on his shoulder. Like, again, it's all these things. Like, I really would love to see where it's going.
It sucks that if that's the truth, and they're not looking to continue the story, I'm out.
But money talks.
Money does talk.
There might be a day where they offer him a bunch of money, and
how much money did they lose out on this version of Justice League? Because it got put out on HBO Max, right? I'm sure HBO Max paid, is Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers. They own HBO
do they?
Max, so yeah.
Okay, so they made nothing.
Yeah.
Well, except for is HBO Max a subscription thing?
Yeah. So I think that when they launched it, that was one of their big selling points for the subscription was eventually you're going to get this Justice League movie.
Yeah.
So maybe some people went and got it just for that. So, but what's that? $10 per person.
Exactly.
So
how much money did they lose out on box office?
Yeah.
Toys, merchandise. What? They should be like, listen, we got to make up for this.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
The only thing I think they're really continuing from these movies is the Flash movie, where I think Affleck is going to play Batman in that.
Mm-hmm.
They're also going to bring back Michael Keaton to be as Batman. So who knows where it's going? Maybe they have a better plan than what they did, but I would much rather see the continuation of the story that I already like.
Yeah.
Like I just rewatched Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman the last couple of days, and they're both really good movies. And then they all kind of connect to each other. Like if you watch them back to back, one ends, the next one starts, the next one ends, the next one starts. So it's like, I would love to see more movies like that with some like connectivity and like interesting stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's the same stuff every time with Batman. It's like we watch his parents die and then he becomes Batman.
Yeah.
I like the 20 years as Batman, Ben Affleck, where he's like, he's been doing this a while. So he's just like angry and mad. Like I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's good stuff. It sucks that, it might not continue, but hey, I'm happy with what we got. Definitely happy. What else going on, man? Had a wrestling match yesterday.
Did you?
Went and taped for the Level Up Pro Wrestling for IWTV. Got a match in. A lot of matches coming up.
I was saying you have a lot of stuff coming up from what I've seen on Facebook, and
I have a busy. The first weekend of April is going to be very busy for me, so that's good.
Because they just had a show at the school now, right? For a student showcase show
on Friday, April 2nd. There's going to be a Level Up show. It's going to be a showcase, and I believe it's called Red Tier.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's going to be happening. It's going to be in the back parking lot of the Level Up Pro Wrestling School. All the normal stuff as far as testing and mask required, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, it's good to see like wrestling is happening again.
Yeah.
I got some shows lined up, so I'll be there Friday night doing that, and then I will be back the next night. So there's gonna be two shows on Saturday, April 3rd. The first one is going to be, hold on.
It was a lucha show. I think we talked about it a little bit last week.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it. The Lucha de... God damn it. I can't remember what the hell it's called. Let me look up on my hand computer real quick. Okay, it's Deluce Del Luce. And what you're going to have is the Hogsmen. That's right, Devin and I going up against the team of Jack Cartwheel and Rancho Camacho. So that show is at 4:00. Now, what this promotion is, it's a little bit more family friendly. Funny thing is, because Jordan Cruz is going to be wrestling Damian 666 in a street fight, so that'll be funny.
Yeah.
To watch, like it's family show, but like they're probably gonna be like gigging or blading each other.
Yeah.
And stuff. But anyway, so that's at 4:00. And then you also, I believe there's a few other matches announced for that show, but I can't remember right now. Can't remember.
Yeah, all I saw was your guys' match.
Yeah. And then at 7:00 you'll have the Canna Pro show. Blast off 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll be wrestling Bad Dude Tito on that. So I'll be pulling a double duty that night. And then on Sunday, April 4th, Easter Sunday, I'll be heading up to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and doing matches up there. So we'll see how that's going to be a long weekend. I'll probably be dead by Sunday night driving home. But hey, man, this is the life I chose.
But will there be some sort of like happiness because you haven't done that kind of weekend in a while?
Yeah, sure. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know how it feels at this point. I don't know if you're just like, oh, we're back, or oh, we're back. Like,
no, it's cool, man. You know, it's nice to have bookings. I'm pretty sure I'll be doing double duty at Championship. So it's going to be interesting having multiple matches in 3 days. I haven't done that in a long time.
And I believe a match of yours from the last taping was aired this weekend or last week.
Yep. We, my match from Championship, my return. Well, that's not my turn because I was there for that battle royale. But I was on TV at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood this weekend, teaming with Honest John. Has Devin explained why he didn't make it?
No.
All right.
Actually, yes, he did.
Okay,
yes, he did.
Good. So Devin you got to get tested, right? You got to get COVID tested and prove that you have a negative test result. Devin had problems getting his test results. I mean, it was a big frustration. I was talking to him all the way up to it, and his hospital fucked up.
Yeah, apparently when he moved up north, the plan didn't recognize it, so it went to his new plan or old plan or something where the test results weren't eligible to him on that weekend. They knew the results, but they couldn't tell him or something like that.
Such horse shit.
And I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, what if someone like was going to get a job over this and or in this scenario?
Yeah.
Someone had to cancel something because they couldn't get the results that were readily available to them.
Yeah, that total horse shit. And I felt so bad for Devin because he was just like, he was on the phone for hours upon hours with his insurance provider and the hospital people being like, I need to get my results. And they were just like, cool, maybe Monday. And they're like, no, I need it by Saturday night, basically. Anyways.
The worst time to deal with anything is on the weekend because mostly everyone is closed or not available to talk.
Yeah. Anyways. I hope we're not breaking any HIPAA laws right now talking about Devin's thing, right?
We didn't really specify who his healthcare provider was. So
there you go.
I guess we didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, so they had to, quick thinking. They threw another kid in there. Honest John, you know what? I told John, I was like, hey, man, thank you for stepping up. And he did a great job. He did a great job as far as performing and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, Devin will get back up there eventually. I'm sure.
So you're not going to rename yourself Honest Mike Camden?
No. But yeah, man, that's it. So we got some wrestling coming up. That's good, man. What about you? What'd you do this week? Anything?
On Saturday, I got my first vaccination shot.
Sick.
So I didn't really make many plans otherwise because I didn't know what would happen. Duke kind of told me that nothing would happen in the first shot, and nothing did happen other than the pain in my arm for a little bit.
They make you
injection site.
They make you sit that 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it was cool because it's at a mall, so like the seating area is in like a food court.
Okay.
So if I wanted to get food, I could have just gone and got food, but
cool.
I didn't. But yeah, it's a relatively easy thing. Like anyone can do it. Like even I don't know if I should be saying this, but even if you don't have a reason to get it right now, just go make an appointment.
They're going off a Scout's honor.
Yeah, going off Scout's honor, and it's better at this point to just go and get it rather than it just sit there and no one gets it, and then they have to throw it away. So it's better that you get it, than no one gets it.
Give it to somebody.
And we're a month away from everyone being eligible anyway. Apparently, if what they say is true, by May everyone should be able to get it.
That trash can don't need that vaccine.
Yeah,
put it in somebody. I don't care who it is.
So
cool, man. Did you watch the Fastlane stuff at all?
I did.
How was that?
It was okay. Brian and Roman was good.
Always. Daniel Bryan's the best wrestler on the planet.
It looks like they're going to add him to the main event, so that'll be awesome.
Good. I saw Bray Wyatt came back.
Bray Wyatt returned.
Another new look. Yeah,
he was burnt to a crisp.
He's all charred up. So I saw the pictures. He looks great. It looks cool.
I think it's probably what they wanted to do with Kane back in the day, but they didn't have the money.
They didn't have the special effects people.
Well, because now apparently they're a guy that makes all Bray's stuff is like a guy who works on like horror movies. I forget the guy's name, but he works on like horror movies.
It looks like it. His gear is incredible.
So yeah, I mean him and Randy at WrestleMania. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be fine match wise. But
I saw you make a post about the Randy Orton on Stone Cold's thing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, he's like so underrated in terms of like things he's done for, like, even when we had Dominic on, Dominic was talking about how Randy was one of the main guys that helped him backstage. And
yeah,
I remember a story Cole Cabana told a few years ago where Randy like went to bat for him and got him hired, and he really didn't know him, but he was Punk's friend, and Randy liked Punk, and Punk didn't have the stroke, so Randy went and got the job done.
Sick.
So, you know, it's a very honest and a very different look at Randy Orton, because you don't really see him do many interviews, and it's fun. And everything Austin does is good, even though Austin will tell the same story 5,000 times. I don't know how many times I've heard the Brian Pillman walked up to him and told him we're a tag team now, and
or the him getting into wrestling school with
Chris Adams
at the Sportatorium. Yeah. Him and 30 other people with only like an hour and a half of ring time. Yep.
He also tells the one where WWE wanted to name him Frost McFang.
That's a great name.
Like, and the way he's getting a lot better at just bringing these up casually, where it doesn't seem like he's going out of his way to do it. Because he would just be like in the middle of a conversation about something completely different. He's like, you know, they wanted to name me Frost McFang, and I'm like, I don't know where that came from.
Man, it's so funny. Like, you look at, you know, you hear people talk about like that kind of stuff, right? Like Stone Cold's story about how they brought him in, they didn't really know what to do with him. They tried giving him a stupid fucking name like Frost McFang, like,
or the Ringmaster,
or the Ring. You know, because I remember when he came out as the Ringmaster, and you were just like, oh, okay, you know, like whatever. Yeah. He's just a dude with a shaved head, and apparently he's like the muscle.
Yeah, because unless you were legitimately watching both WWF and WCW, you didn't know who he was.
Oh no,
he was just a guy. Like,
had no idea.
If you watch WCW, like he had a lot of stuff. Like he'd wrestle Ricky Steamboat. He was the United States champion. Like, and then he was in ECW for a little bit. Did a couple of things there, but back then we didn't have this internet stuff. So when he showed up on WWF, you were like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's with Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, and then it was so funny because he just out of nowhere, man, just caught on fire.
Yeah,
you know, and it was just like a quick burning blaze. You know, like obviously it took him years to get there, but as soon as he got on WWF, you know, he got introduced.
Yeah,
and then overnight you were like, holy fuck, he's like the most over person on the card, because the fans were telling you, because there were signs saying Austin 316, and man, the guy just he grabbed that ball and just kept running. Great, loved him. My favorite wrestler, probably definitely my favorite wrestler of all time.
He's awesome. A lot of people prefer Rock over that period. I was always an Austin guy. Well, Rock is great too, but
it was either one or the other. You were either a Rock guy or a Austin guy, and you know, I had friends that were Rock guys, and I was just an Austin person. You know, like I thought he was awesome, man.
Yeah,
good stuff. Came out in jean shorts.
Yeah, he was just there was no like frills or anything about him. He would just walk out and just a badass.
And yet, I think, I mean, the Brood had sweet entrance music, right? Gangrel has some of the best entrance music of all time, but Stone Cold's just the glass shattering. That's what you were waiting for every Monday night.
Yeah.
You were waiting for the glass to shatter.
I saw somebody posted something about this. I wonder what your opinion on it is. So like the entrances today are a lot more choreographed. Like everyone's got to do the thing. And somebody posted like a video of Sid coming out like 96, and Sid would just fist pump all the fans, just scream. And you talk about like the Brood, even though they were coming up a fire, it was still very natural. Austin entrance was very natural. Like, do you think that's part of the reason why maybe these guys don't connect as much today? Because they have these choreographed, everything, throw my fist up in the air, do this and that.
Everything is so overproduced. Yeah. Where it doesn't feel organic anymore. You know, like I can even tell that, like when I walk out to the ring, I just want to walk out to the ring.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to do something because that's what everybody else is doing. That's what you've been told by people that have worked for the bigger promotions. Like you got to like have something signature or some shit like that. Yeah. And I look back at those old days and it was just them walking out, and whatever they did, they did.
Yeah.
There was nothing like constantly reproduced, I guess you could say, like every end, like, you know, like it was just natural, man.
Like even natural. Like I remember when Dominic was on a couple months ago talking about how they were telling him he needed something in his entrance. And like he even watches his entrance now and it's still so awkward because him and his dad, or you know how Ray would run to one side and do this to but there's no fans. They're doing it to TV screens, and I'm like, in reality, it looks so dumb. But I guess like them just walking out is to them dumb too. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Dom's feels like he's gonna get on WrestleMania.
That's awesome, man.
So they teased a little bit of something last week on SmackDown. Looks like he's going to be in a tag match with his dad, maybe tag titles.
Against who?
It looks like it's going to be a 4-way with them and the Street Profits, Ziggler and Rude, and Otis and Gable.
Cool.
That's what it seems like. But hey, if Dom gets on Mania, who cares what it is? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Especially getting a tag with your dad. Like we talked about a couple months ago, how great that would be. Like it seems like that's the trajectory at this point.
Yeah. I saw Andrade
finally got released.
They got released. He asked for his release. They denied it, and then they ended up giving it to him
with a non-compete.
So there's no sit at home for 30 days.
He could show up tomorrow on AEW or tonight on AEW, whatever it is.
And I heard Charlotte might have had a little say in that.
Some people said there was one person that posted it. It was proven false. She hasn't been on TV because she revealed last night she has COVID.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's just been. I feel like she might have said something because they are engaged, and that she might have spoken up and said, "Hey, release him." But like last week, they took her off the Mania poster, and then she was back on.
Yeah.
And now she's probably not going to be at Mania if she has COVID right now. We're 3 weeks away, so
yeah, maybe
depending on how hard it hit her, like fatigue wise, whatnot, she might not be ready.
Interesting, but that Andrade release. This is the example of just because WWE throws a contract at you doesn't mean you're made.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, him and Johnny Gargano had a match at a takeover that people were legitimately asking, is it the best match in WWE history? And they still couldn't find anything to do with him.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
That's the thing, man. Just because, and this is also the thing, like you might go to NXT and kill it, right? And you're just hoping to go to the next level, to the main roster, either the Raw or SmackDown. And you might get that call. But the thing is, they might not have something for you. Look at what is it? Aleister Black. Where's he been?
Apparently it's all been Heyman. When Heyman was the writer of Raw, all the guys that he pushed are now not getting pushed because of that. So it's like, yeah.
And that's what happens. Like, new person steps into the position, all of a sudden you fall to the back of the line, or you just kind of fall to the wayside because that person might not see anything in you.
Yeah.
Whereas Heyman probably saw a lot in Aleister Black. Who is it? Pritchard now is probably is it Pritchard taking over?
I think so. I don't even know who's in control anymore.
He might not get Aleister Black.
Which is so sad because he's such a talented guy. He's so good on the mic.
Yeah. There's money to be made other places.
Yeah.
And not just WWE. There's money to be made other places.
Especially now.
And that's the thing. Like I was actually one of my trainers, Gabe, the guy I train with on Fridays now, for an hour. I do like boxing and MMA stuff with him. He was something he knows a fighter. I think he's from Argentina or something like that. And he doesn't have a social security card here, right? So he's Argentinian, and he was fighting for Combat Americas, which is a MMA promotion down in Mexico, and the kid was making good money fighting for that promotion down there. Now you probably don't know who Combat Americas is. A lot of people listening to this podcast might not know what that promotion is. By the way, here's a hint: it's the one where Tito Ortiz fought Alberto Del Rio. But this kid was making a bunch of money down there. Then the UFC said, "Hey, you want a contract?" And the kid was like, "Hell yeah." UFC, like, who the UFC is, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee every person listening to this podcast knows who the UFC is. He went to the UFC. They offered him 8 to show, 8 to win. That means $8,000 to show, $8,000 to win. Add that up, 16, right?
Yeah.
This kid was making like $30,000 with Combat Americas. So he goes to the UFC. He signs a contract with them, goes, fights. I think he lost. I'm not sure, but he got beat up pretty good, right? Then he goes to get his paycheck. Now, the UFC is an American company, right? Like a U.S. company. Goes to get his paycheck. Guess what? He doesn't have a social security card. They took a bunch of taxes out. They tax you even more if you don't have a social security card.
Yeah.
This kid ended up walking with like $2,500 and medical expenses. Plus, like we just went through a year of, a lot of shutdowns and like no, not too many fights. This kid lost a bunch of money all because he wanted to go to the big promotion.
Yeah.
But yet he was sitting on cash with this other promotion that was lesser known, but they were paying him bigger money. So that's the thing, man. Don't just chase the company.
Yeah.
Go with the money. Who's offering you more money? Okay, this promotion over here might be offering you a lot of money. Yeah, they're lesser known, but you're getting paid, man. You're getting paid. So I don't know.
It's also about timing too. Like there are guys that I didn't think would be anything, and they signed at the right time and got a mega push almost immediately, and they were on the main roster within months. Like I'm not talking about. I don't like this. I like this guy. Like Apollo Crews, he signed and was in the main roster within like 3 months,
and then I
don't think he was ready, and now he's killing it. Like he's doing awesome.
I think so. He's doing like a Nigerian prince kind of thing.
He actually is Nigerian. He's just doing like a really thick, like he's doing like King T'Challa in Black Panther. He's doing that accent. And I mean, it's working because he's coming off more arrogant. He's a much better heel. It seems like he's finally comfortable with himself.
That's good.
And like, he's always been talented in the ring. He's been good. And I think that's why they thought they could just put him on the main roster, but he was too much of a smiley, like good guy. And now it's like, you have a different level of him, and now people will look at him differently. But yeah,
I loved his name on the indies.
Uha Nation.
That is a great name. Uha Nation. That is a great fucking name.
Yeah, he's awesome. His name's awesome. Yeah.
Like I wish they would have brought that name. He would have been able to bring that name to WWE. I'm not. Is he going by Apollo Crews now, or it wasn't just Apollo?
It was Apollo for a while, but it's Apollo Crews again.
Yeah, I'm okay with that name.
Yeah,
it's fine. But Uha Nation, that's a sick name.
Yeah,
that draws eyes. Like that, you hear that and you go, "Excuse me, what'd you just say?" Uha Nation.
Exactly.
So, and that I think that name would go better with what his character he's trying to get over right now.
Yeah.
Right. So, but oh well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What else is going on? Andrade got cut. Does anybody else or he got released? Anybody else getting released?
Not that I know of.
I feel like Aleister Black will probably get released pretty soon because it sounds like they just have nothing. His wife already bailed out.
Yeah, and everyone thinks that's the reason Andrade stopped getting pushed. So I'm just like, I don't understand the reasoning behind holding on to guys if you're not going to use them. Because back in the day, if they weren't using a guy, you were gone.
Yeah,
like even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like if they just would fire a bunch of guys, like we don't need you anymore. Like, but now they're like, let's just keep them for no purpose.
It's one of those things where you just before you sign that contract, just look at the landscape of the place that wants you.
Yeah,
like WWE wants me, cool. NXT filled with talent.
Yeah,
right. They swooped up on the indies and they just took a whole bunch of people. The main roster, a bunch of talent up there. Like. I don't know.
One of the things that drives me crazy is when guys who aren't being used re-sign and then openly complain online they're not getting used.
Yeah.
I understand the paycheck is nice, and I understand that's a big part of why these guys do what they do. But if you know you're not actively going to be used at your job that you want to make money at, like you said, there's other places to go to make money.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be what you make in WWE, but at least you'll get to do stuff.
Exactly.
And
you get the opportunity to build your name, your character, your product,
build
your
a brand,
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What else? Let's go with the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Let's get these questions.
We got a couple of questions this week. All right. So the first question we got is from SoCal Gabe, who we haven't heard from in a while. So here we go.
What up, Gabe?
Gabe asks, if you go back and watch Shawn Michaels versus Steve Austin from WrestleMania 14, Michaels does a lot of damage to Austin's leg by propping it on the bottom rope and then launching himself up off the ropes and dropping down Austin's leg. Go back a year prior to WrestleMania 13 and Bret Hart would slam Austin's leg down across the ring apron and slam it around the ring post. Not sure if I've failed to see matches where this happens in modern pro wrestling. Assuming it hasn't, why isn't this utilized today? Furthermore, are there any moves or styles of wrestling that you don't see anymore and wish would come back into play?
Now, is he talking about just working the leg?
I think he's just talking about working a body part. Like the way, because like in a lot of matches where guys wrestled Austin, they would focus on his knee because he had the knee brace.
Yeah, bad knees. The reason you probably don't see people working the leg as much anymore is because, well, at least on the indies, it's probably because of the work rate nowadays in the ring. It's all about spots. It's all about, action, like high flying flips, stuff like that. That's not how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you saw those matches with Austin and Michaels and Bret Hart, they were about what's the storyline? What are we trying to get over in this match? Whereas nowadays it's all about spots.
Can you imagine Bret trying to wrestle today? Because that was Bret's style. Bret's style was work a body part.
Yeah.
And then to lead up to the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine someone like Bret working today.
It's really hard to run high spots when you're supposed to be selling a leg injury.
Yeah.
So that is probably why. And also, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've told this to students too. It takes skills to know how to work a body part properly and also how to sell a body part properly.
Because you could work on a body part the whole match yourself, but if the person taking the moves isn't selling it right, it's gonna look like shit, right?
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, they start hitting the ropes and running spots. It's like, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's all about, everybody just wants to have 5-star matches, and it's hard to get a "this is awesome" chant when you're working a body part, when you're selling a body part and you can't hit those high spots anymore. That's not going to get you a "this is awesome" chant. So yeah, that's about the best I got for you is the work rate now in the ring. Everybody wants high volume.
Yeah.
As far as spots, moves, all that kind of stuff. Whereas back in the day, it was more storyline driven all the way to the story. The match storyline drove towards the finish.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays it doesn't. It doesn't at all. So that's my best answer for you.
I would say that the only person that's really even utilized it recently is Roman. Like all of Roman's matches this year have been based in storytelling.
Yeah.
Even his match on Sunday, it was based around Edge is at ringside. He's the enforcer. How is Edge going to come into play into the finish? And then Edge is involved in the finish. Like all of Roman's matches, he's talking more than he's doing anything. Like it's such like a thing you don't see much anymore.
Yeah. The last time I was at an indie show and I saw somebody work a body part properly, and not just one person, I saw the match.
Yeah.
The people, the two men in the ring worked a body part and it came out phenomenal. Because I watched the match, I watched the finish. It was great. Was Ray Rosas and Jesse James at Ground Zero, probably sometime in 2019, right?
Yeah,
I can't remember which match it was, but I watched it and I was like, "That's the match of the card." Like that's, to me, the match of the night is this match right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, a lot of people, they want that "this is awesome" chant. They want that 5-star rating. They want gifts, right?
Yeah.
Gifts.
Yeah.
So working a body part don't really get you that.
They want the thing that they think is going to get them the most notice, right?
Yep.
And then the last part was, are there any moves or styles of wrestling that you don't see anymore and you wish would come back into play?
I mean, the style of wrestling that I like the most is Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Like that more cult in the ring. It's not too clean. It looks dirty. I love that style of wrestling. I love the cruiserweight style of the WCW days back in late 90s.
Yeah.
I love that style because it was fast paced, but yet they sold everything correctly, and everything was clean and tight and looked good. And I love the British style of like hold to hold, like the British World of Sport style. But would everybody, but I don't think a mass audience would want to watch that. Certain people like it.
And that requires you to sell, because you're literally working body parts. That's the British style. You work on the arm, work on the leg, and you have to sell the whole time.
Yeah. So, I guess that, right, the styles.
That's good.
What was a good move back in the day that that you don't see. I don't know.
I think the only move that's not really around anymore is the pile driver.
And you see plenty of that
Yeah.
outside of WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about it.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. So this one is from a new person, someone that hasn't asked before. Some dude .wrestles commented,
What up, some dude?
may have already been asked by another, kind of a two-part question. At the start of your career, can you think of a move you saw in a match that you just had to try out and couldn't wait to perfect? What match and which move? And then I'll ask the second question after you've answered that one.
A move that I really wanted to do. I don't know exactly. I can't remember. I remember practicing the moonsault, and I had the crash pad out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing a moonsault onto the crash pad from the top rope, and I was like, "Ugh, this is probably gonna hurt if I take this crash pad out, right?" And I was gonna do this in one of my matches with Ricky Mandel. This was gonna be kind of like me doing it for the first time. So I only used the crash pad when I was practicing the moonsault, and then I was just like, "Fuck it." I was landing it fine on the crash pad, and I was just like, "Fuck it." When we get out there, I won't have a crash pad. You just got to do it. Now, I always advise people against this. Like, don't just think you can do something and try it for the first time in the ring in front of an audience. But I've broken that rule before too. Like the moonsault. I was supposed to miss the moonsault anyway, so I had to eat the mat.
Yeah.
So, when I got up there, it's like, okay, there's no turning back now. I've already climbed up onto the top rope and I'm about to do this. No turning back now. And I ate the mat and I was like, oh, okay. All right. Obviously there's impact.
Yeah.
But, if you breathe out correctly and all that kind of stuff, you absorb the energy throughout your body, not just in one particular spot. You're good to go. See other moves. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. That's about it. I think that's it. Moonsault. Like that was the first thing I wanted to try. Not the first thing I wanted to try, but it was like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
By the way, as a heel, if you were a heel, you could always get out of it. You could just jump off the top rope and I'm not doing that shit.
Exactly.
Get everyone to boo you. Like,
exactly.
There's always a way out of it. And is there something in today's wrestling that gave you that same reaction or feeling? So I think he's asking. I'm not really sure. Is there a move you've seen today that's given you the reaction of I want to try that recently?
No.
I guess is the question.
No, I don't watch too much of the newer modern wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean I do, but if I want to watch a match, I usually watch older stuff.
Yeah. Well, with the last year we haven't really had much to watch anyway. You've had the main companies and then a couple of other, United was doing pay-per-views weekly. Like,
yeah. So
there wasn't like a lot to watch and be like, I want to try that. Like,
yeah. Well, plus it's the idea of what's old is new.
Yeah.
Right. So when I usually let's say I jump on the network and I want to watch wrestling, I watch old school Raws. I watch old school Nitros, and I focus on, for Nitros, I focus obviously on the cruiserweights because, as awesome as like NWO was back in the day, they weren't doing like no phenomenal, spots or anything like that. It was all just them being fucking awesome. And then the same thing with like old school Raw. Like I love just watching the in-ring action of the pace because they moved at a fast pace.
Yeah.
But you could tell they were calling it in the ring. And it, like I said, it was sloppy, not sloppy, but it looked more dirty, more gritty, I guess you could say. So like I watch that stuff and that's where I try and draw inspiration from. Like if I see a spot that the cruiserweights did in WCW, I'm like, okay, cool. I want to steal that. There's one particular spot where it's Eddie and Jericho, and it's I've used this spot multiple times in my matches. It's catch the line into a Mahi straw. The person taking the Mahi straw back rolls into a Oklahoma roll pin, and then something else. I can't remember.
Yeah.
You know, but I just thought that transition looked so good, and I've used it a couple times in my matches, and it works pretty well. So
will you be getting Peacock for the network?
I don't know. How do you? So my net. I have the network. I pay $9.99 a month. Is that going to vanish?
That's If you paid for it this month, that's the last time you're going to pay for it.
And then I have to sign up for Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Peacock has more than wrestling. There's some stuff. There's movies on there, maybe shows you might want to watch.
I guarantee when it gets closer to Mania, I'll be like, okay, it's time to sign up for this fucking Peacock thing.
Because by Mania, it'll be gone. I think April 5th is when the network ceases to exist.
Here's a question. So Peacock is NBC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And SmackDown is currently on Fox.
Yeah.
Are they pissed off about that at all?
No,
Fox?
I don't think so, because they're more in bed with NBC Universal, which is USA Network. So
okay,
Fox is just like, the NFL. Not all the NFL games are on Fox, so I guess they look at it probably the same way. Not all WWE is going to be on Fox.
Okay,
and also Peacock offered them $1 billion to be on there, so
I'd take that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about it for those. That question is
the watching pay-per-view on Peacock, by the way, was quite a disaster for some people.
Oh, for real?
You couldn't pause it or rewind it as it was going. Like normally,
fuck that. So you're just like watching regular TV?
Yeah, I think they said that they were going to work on it. So hopefully by Mania, they fix that.
You think that would have been like a first, pause and replay.
And
or
also
rewind.
There's a couple people I saw complaining because it says on the show next to it. So it was like a WrestleMania. It says expires in 21 days. So on some of these streaming services, stuff goes away and comes back like regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So like if that's what that is, like where you can't watch anything whenever you want, that's going to piss off a lot of people. And a lot of people are not going to sign up for Peacock for that.
Shit, I remember watching TV in the early 90s. You had to sit through commercials.
What you can do, and you can get a VPN and you can watch the regular network because it exists everywhere but America.
Could you imagine taking a kid from this day and age, like right now, and being like, here, you're going to watch TV how we used to watch TV back in like the 90s and the late 80s. And even like the early 2000s. Remember like when what was DVR originally called? God damn it. There was an original name for the DVR.
Let me look it up real quick.
And it was like some stupid name, but it was revolutionary. Cause like, wait a minute, you're telling me I can record this and I don't have to sit through the commercials. I can just forward through all that shit. That's like game changing. And now you look at it. I remember my mind was blown when there was picture in picture. Remember how TiVo, game changer.
And everyone was like, what?
Game
I don't have
changer.
to I can watch stuff the next day.
But do you remember picture in picture?
Yeah.
And how stupid? It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Especially in the mid 90s. But then when you actually watch it, you're like, this is stupid because that small picture is way too small. I can't even watch it.
You're like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I used to have TV in my house that was literally half and half. Like it was like the first HD, like half and half split. So like I lived with other people and like I'd play my games on one side and they'd watch their movies on the other side. And I was like, I mean, that kind of worked because it was like a 50-inch TV split in half. So it was like,
that's interesting. That would drive me nuts though if I had two things going on at once on the TV.
But that's what people would be doing today if Raw and Nitro existed.
You're right.
They'd probably have them both on at the same time. I'm sure there's someone out there that does it with AEW and NXT while they're still on the same night.
Do they? I mean,
I'm sure some people do. I mean, I don't.
I feel bad for the kids nowadays that will never understand how much competition went into wrestling during those Monday Night Wars. So much competition.
A title match on a Nitro is like a big deal. You're like, oh shit, Hogan's wrestling Goldberg tonight. I better watch that.
And I heard Bischoff's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie to you. He 100% deserves it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And like this is the guy that tried to bankrupt or like put Vince McMahon out of business. Yeah. But without him, wrestling would have never gotten to where it is.
Exactly.
Back then at least, you need that competition. You need that person that says, I'm going to put you out of business. And you either make a decision of, I'm going to lay down for this guy, or no, fuck that. I'm going to shove it up his fucking ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what these two were doing every week. Back and forth. It was sick, dude.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they won't be able to do that with a crowd. Because I guess Batista was supposed to go in last year and they decided not to put him in this year. But
yeah. Who else? Molly Holly's going in.
Molly Holly's going
she deserves
in.
it.
The Bellas from last year are going in, I believe.
I believe that. I understand that.
They've put so many people in that thing now. At this point, there isn't anyone that really doesn't deserve to go in.
I heard Davey Boy's going in.
I haven't heard that yet, but
Davey Boy's going in. He deserves it.
He deserves it. Absolutely deserves it.
One of my faves from back in the day. Hell yeah.
I don't even know why they call it a WWE Hall of Fame at this point, because they're literally inducting people that some of them that were never in the WWE at all.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like,
but yeah, man, that's cool. Hall of Fame. It's always fun to watch, right? Like, well, I don't know how are they even doing like.
They're doing it the Thunderdome.
Okay.
So they're taping a bunch of stuff because they're leaving Tropicana Field next week, I think, or the first week of April. So they're going to tape like the Hall of Fame, Raw, SmackDown, everything before Mania.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame is fun to watch. I do enjoy it. Obviously, it's too long.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but who was it? Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago was the one where the guy tried to attack Bret Hart on stage.
Okay, maybe 3 years ago. Somebody had the longest acceptance speech I've ever heard in my life, and it's like, let's get that walk-off theme, music going on here. Like, I want to respect this guy as much as possible, but Jesus Christ, a half-hour long acceptance speech.
Yeah.
A little too long, man. A little too long.
I went to the one where Kurt Angle was inducted, and he had like the shortest speech, but there was like so many people that like talked for so long to the point where like, guys, this is 5-6 hours of people talking. Like,
yeah,
and I'll never go to one again.
I want to pay my respects to what you did in your career and all that kind of stuff. But Jesus Christ, dude, like cut it short, man. 5 minutes at the longest, that speech, right? 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can't imagine having more to say than 5 minutes, unless it's one of those people that just want to tell a bunch of stories. I'm just like,
exactly. Like if you're a person who can just like hold a crowd like that,
yeah.
Like let's say Ric Flair gets up there and just starts talking and like talking about old days. Give it to me.
Yeah,
give it to me. Cause I love listening to Ric Flair talk about the old days and like his stories and stuff like that. But there's just some people where it's like, dude, you weren't a promo guy back then. You're not a promo guy now. Get off the stage. Say your thank yous, tell a funny story, and let's go, man. Let's keep this show moving.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like there's something else I wanted to bring up too, but I can't remember what.
I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all that happened last week. Good luck to Benny. He's getting his surgery on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I saw Benny on Sunday. He said he did stretch.
Did he hear what you said?
Yeah, he goes, fuck you, I did stretch. And I'm like, I didn't know. I got to fucking bullshit on my show. I got to kill time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing good. He's going to get his surgery done. It's just one of those things that happen. Even when I hurt my calf, a few months ago, the doctor was like, yeah, it's just what happened. It's just an injury that as you get older, the more prone you are to it. And
did they say how long he's going to be like bedridden? Like this, do you know if he's going to like come to any of these shows? Like,
yeah, I'm sure he'll be. He's got a little scooter he's cruising around on. You know, the one where you put your injured leg on it and you go scootering around. He's got that. I don't know how intrusive the surgery is. I don't know
he mentioned the other day he was going to be bedridden for a little while, and he's been doing something cool where he's been having wrestlers email him, and he's literally been going through and critiquing them and giving them advice, which I think it's always awesome when guys who have done what he's done and wrestle as long as he's done can give that input to people.
Yeah.
It's always very helpful.
Yeah, always, man. You always want to look for advice, always trying to seek out advice. And you want people that are going to give you honest advice, not like, hey, this is what I want. This is what you want to hear. You know? It's funny too. Cause like, I help the students out now, right? I help train them.
Yeah.
I'll kind of break down their matches for them and all that kind of stuff. And it's sometimes I start to feel like, man, am I being too much of a dick? Cause it's easy. How can I say this? If you're doing something good, cool, keep doing it. I'm not going to bring it up. It's what you did wrong.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be fixed.
Nothing ever helps. Like I guess some people like being praised, and I guess that helps them a little bit, but I think you're going to get more out of being critiqued. I think you're going to learn more from being critiqued than you are, hey, this was really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not helpful. Like,
yeah. And since I've gone back to doing Muay Thai, and I'm back to being a student.
Yeah.
Because I have a trainer, and he's like, almost kind of like an expert. He is like an expertise, and he, you know, expects you to do these kicks and punches and all that kind of stuff precise.
Yeah.
And to the T of how he teaches it. So, and it's such little things, you know, like rotating your body, your hips over and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, he never compliments you. He always is just like, okay, that looked okay.
Yeah.
But then like the next kick he goes, that sucks. That kick sucked. So it's good because I get to realize like I'm back to where I'm a student again. And, you know, it helps even me out when I'm trying to like help kids out. I don't want to be too negative towards them. I try to give them like a compliment sandwich, you know? And you know, it helps kind of bring you back down to like the student level, I guess you could say.
I think you just have to kind of feel out the person. Like if that type of person is not going to get anything from you constantly complimenting them, then I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's going to be guys that if you compliment them, they're going to rest on that and be like, oh, I'm good. And not try as hard at other stuff.
Yeah.
That's just the way people get. It's arrogance is the word. But yeah, I think it's better to critique people because like if you're wrestling and you come back and everyone's telling you, oh man, that was great. But in your mind, you know, it sucked.
Oh, I always have that mind.
That's what I mean. Like I have a friend that, Rick Ellis, everyone used to tell him, man, your match is awesome. He would always come to me and my other friend, Keith, like, how was it? And we'd be like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone would just
Honesty.
tell him how great it was. And it was so great. You were so awesome. But in his mind, he's like, I know it sucked.
Yeah.
So let me ask them because they're going to be honest with me. And I'll be honest with them. It sucked.
I'm the exact same way, man. It's like, if somebody tells me, hey man, great match. No, it wasn't.
Because and you lose respect for that person.
You know
because
what?
they're just kissing your ass to kiss your ass.
Listen, Macho and Steamboat WrestleMania 3 was a great match.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that that piece of shit match I just had out there right now is on that level? No.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
No. Don't jack me off when I'm asking you not to.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I got it. I didn't like that match myself. I'll let you know when it's a good match because you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can absolutely feel it. But yeah, I hate when people tell me I have like, hey, good match. It's like, no, it didn't, dude.
Have you ever had a match? I'm sure you don't watch back all your matches, but have you ever had a match where you thought it really sucked and then you saw it back and you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good.
Usually what happens is when I watch the match back, I hate it the first time I watch it. I hate it. I'm like, ew, gross. I'm horrible. I don't understand why people even book me. And then I'll watch it again, you know, maybe a little bit down the road and go, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it wasn't. It's just that your expectations are always going to be so much more than what is actually played out in the ring, you know? So, you know, and it's just little things that catch my attention too, that piss me off about me.
Yeah.
You know, like I was holding my hand like this, or I did this with my arms. I did all this kind of stupid stuff where nobody else would pick it up. Nobody else would catch it. But I'm picking it up because I'm my biggest critique.
But you'd expect other wrestlers, if they're watching it, to pick it up. Like you wouldn't expect a fan to pick it up. Like you'd be like, fans be like, oh, that was awesome. Like they might tell you it's awesome because they might not have noticed the subtle thing you do with your arm in the middle that you hated. But like a wrestler should notice that stuff and pick up on that stuff. But
yeah, that's true. You look at, okay, who's complimenting you?
Yeah.
Who are they? What are do they have any experience? Is it just a fan that's watched wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, like they're gonna, you know, not see little things.
Yeah.
But a trained wrestler should see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I might, sometimes I feel like I'm being too picky when I'm critiquing other people's wrestler, like, you know, like matches. Like I'll see something and I go, hey, it's a little something. I guarantee nobody else fucking back here saw it, but I saw it. You know, it's like, and I'll point that out and I'll be like, I wonder if this person like gives a shit that I said that, or do they appreciate it? You know, like
I think they'd appreciate it. I would appreciate it if someone had told me back in the day when I was training little stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw a wrestler make a comment about how he doesn't want unsolicited advice on the Twitter. And I was like, I give unsolicited advice all the time. You know, like it's not because I want to like shit on you.
Yeah.
It's because I legitimately want to help you out and go, hey man, I saw what you did out here. I do that all the time too. here's how to like, or I used to do that all the time. Here's how to fix it.
Every peak athlete in every sport at some point has gotten coached, even if they're at the top of their game. I guarantee you stuff happens in games with LeBron James now where someone says, maybe you should try this.
Yeah.
And then he does it. Like you're never at a level where you're perfect at whatever you do.
Yep.
No matter who you are. Like I guarantee the Kurt Angles of the world, I guarantee their matches that you watched that thought they're incredible. I'm sure there's 7 or 8 things in that match where he's like, I fucking hated that.
Yeah.
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't get over it. Like just a small little thing.
I saw an old clip of Guerrero talking about one of his matches with Ray, and he goes, he brought up this match, how he always finds something that he doesn't like in all of his matches. And he said this match with Ray, he goes, that's probably about the closest I've ever been to like
the Halloween Havoc match.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the closest like perfect lucha matches you'll ever see. And it's not even full lucha. It's like they do a lot of lucha spots, but there's a lot of stuff that both of them have said they've tried again and they can't do it.
Yeah. It just that one night it happened. I remember him making that comment about, he goes, that one match, that's about the most perfect that I'll ever get. Cause you watch a match back and you go, God, I should have done this. I should have done that. Should have done this. Why did we do that? He said he watched that match back and he said, he's pretty content with that match. Like, okay, that was about as good as it's going to get.
He was notoriously hard on himself a lot.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, Benoit, you hear about old stories with him. Like he would like fuck up one little thing that wasn't even a big deal. And he would go do 500 squats after the match thinking he had to punish himself.
But then there's a match, I forget which Mania it is, that Eddie Russell's like test. And it's like a pretty good, solid match. And then you find out that Eddie doesn't remember any of it because he was so fucked up.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, if that's the performance he's putting out when he's drugged out, like none of us have any hope.
You know what's crazy is that when I think about Eddie Guerrero, I remember watching him on WCW Cruiserweight, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, he was awesome. And then you just slowly over the years, because then, you know, he became a heel in WCW, the LWO thing, and then eventually him jumping ship with Benoit, Saturn, and Malenko over to WWF, and them building him up. And you're slowly watching, this guy is the greatest wrestler of all time. Like, there's a very good argument for him being the greatest wrestler of all time. Babyface, check.
You could do either one, yeah.
Heel, absolutely good. Solid wrestling in the ring. Comedy, you got it. Acting, got it. Catchphrases, got it. The look, got it. I mean, come on, man. Like that, there's a strong argument for Guerrero being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
And it sucks because he obviously got to the top, but I feel like if he could have kept going, I feel like he could have been so much higher up in like the Mount Rushmore of like people's wrestlers today.
Yeah. Because
he hadn't even touched the surface of being like a main event guy.
So good.
Yep.
So good.
I agree.
It's crazy. And like, I got to like, you know, I didn't watch all of his career, but I watched a good chunk of his career.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think like this guy was on the cusp of being considered one of the greatest. And then his life got cut short. What was it, heart attack, right?
Yeah, he had a heart attack, yeah.
Jeez. Crazy, man. Crazy. It's crazy to think like those old school cats, how they, just how they handled life on the road, pain, all that kind of stuff. All them painkillers, they didn't know.
Yeah.
They thought like, hey man, this stuff is, it's doctor prescribed.
Makes me feel better. So why wouldn't I take it?
Man, I still remember back in the day when Vicodin, I remember like the doctors prescribing my parents tons of Vicodin, and they're just like, oh, it's fucking, it's doctor prescribed. It's fine. Then you find out you're basically doing heroin. Like you're addicted to like opiates. Like, and not my parents were addicted to it.
Yeah.
But just, man, that stuff got just handed out like candy. I mean, we're talking like huge prescription pills of Vicodin and stuff like that. And you look back at it now and you go, what the fuck were these doctors thinking, man? I
think the first time other than wrestling, I knew Vicodin was a big, did you ever watch the show House?
No. He
was on Vicodin, like the entirety of the show. And like towards like the middle of the show, he got off of it and they tried to make him go to rehab. And I'm like, Vicodin, is that serious?
Jeez.
And that's when you find out like, oh fuck, these painkillers are not supposed to just be taken all the time.
No.
It'll kill your brain.
I remember when I found out when I was in high school and I found out like if you drank like alcohol and took Vicodin, it fucked you up, right?
Mm.
So I was like, sweet, like let's try this out, you know. And I went to a party and I took half of Vicodin and I brought with me like a couple 40s, thinking like I'm gonna get like pretty banged up off of this.
Yeah.
Guess what? Dead sober. I've never been more sober at a party in my life. And I took a Vicodin, drank these 40s. And for some reason, I'm like, what is going on right now? I am like perfectly fine. Don't know. I don't think Vicodin works. I've taken Vicodin before. I don't think it works for me. I don't know like what you're supposed to feel, but I've taken it before and I've felt nothing except for like irritated.
Yeah, maybe it was, some people it hits differently.
Yeah,
you know?
It's weird. I don't know.
Maybe you need to take more. Needed to.
Yeah, I'm cool now, man. It's funny. It's interesting now how many people talk about how they'll turn down prescription pills from doctors and maybe just use like gummies, right? Like marijuana gummies.
Yeah.
As an alternative, because you look at it now and you go, that's the safer route. 100% the safer route. Because there's too many fucking stories of people getting hooked on fucking prescription pills.
Because unfortunately, you're not going to know if you're addicted until it's too late.
Way too late.
You're like, oh, yeah.
Way too late. All right, man. Let's finish this up.
Sounds good.
All right. So let's see. We've got Level Up, Red Tier, April 2nd. That's a Friday night. Go on Facebook. I'm sure you can find the information there. And then that following Saturday, April 3rd, we're going to have the De Lucha. I know I'm butchering that name, but please go check that out. That's going to be at 4 o'clock on Saturday. That's going to be the Hogsmen, Devin and I, taking on the team of Jack Cartwheel and Rancho Camacho. And then later that night at 7 o'clock will be the Canna Pro Blast Off 4321 show. I'll be on that, taking on Bad Dude Tito.
Will you be inquiring with Tito about how to get booked on Bloodsport?
Maybe. I'll bring out the old phrase, get me booked. No, I don't know.
Because he's on the next one too, the one they're having in Tampa.
And I saw he actually just pulled out of another show. Another fucking promoter got caught for like doing
inappropriate stuff.
I don't
know specifically what it is. All
Yeah.
I saw the Tito, and then I think Heather retweeted it, and
a few people,
other people addressed it.
Crazy, man, crazy. And then I'll be up at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood that following Sunday on April 4th, Easter Sunday. But there's no fans there, I believe. But anyways, the Canna Pro show, the De Lucha, the Level Up show, Red Tier showcase. That's all, mask up, got to take your temperature, all that kind of stuff. What do you call that? COVID?
Contact tracing?
No, not contact tracing. Isn't contact
COVID
tracing
protocols?
Protocols, there you go. Isn't contact tracing where you leave your information?
Yeah. So I know they did that the last show. I don't know if they're going to do it for this one.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, remember when like restaurants were supposed to do that and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell off? How many Mike Hunts do you think ate at restaurants during that time frame when you were supposed to leave like your name and address and your phone number?
I'm sure I would have left the private.
You probably had a bunch of Mike Hunts, a bunch of Jack Mehoffs, Seymour Butts, right? Like I swear, I guarantee there's a bunch of names like that. Anyway, so those are the shows I'll be participating in at the beginning of April. Go check out the Hogsmen Red and Black, the Hogscast, every Thursday morning with Devin Sparks. And then the Last Word with Duke on Friday mornings.
This week we have part 2 of our interview with Yuma.
And that was good. Yuma's always a solid interview. He's got plenty of stories. So go check that out. And I think Devin's supposed to have Hunter on or something like that. I don't know, maybe.
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea if we're doing a podcast this week. So
nah, you're doing it.
Check the feeds.
I feel like I'm the boss, right? Am I the boss of this podcast?
Devin gets mad when I say that, but yes.
I feel like I'm the boss, okay? And I'm going to demand that Devin does his podcast, or else I'm going to have to write his ass up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's about it, right?
Yep. Just follow the podcast on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at the Hogsmen Podcast. Watch all the videos. Listen to Mike's podcast on YouTube. It's just audio, but Still get to hear Mike Camden's voice.
Yeah, cool, man. And that's about it, guys. I don't think we have much more going on. And if you want the tip, you got to take the whole hog. Adios.